Hello, Tom.
Hi, Madeline.
Your tree's becoming unruly.
Who do we live next door to?
I don't like your husband, and I don't like you.
Tom, honey?
Tom's been kidnapped. The people who did this want you dead.
Why would anyone want to kill me?
We fake your death.
She's dead.
Please give me back my husband. Where's my husband?
If I was you, I'd be asking myself how well I really know her.
I Have to Kill My Neighbor premieres Saturday, April 11th at 8, only on Lifetime.
Hey everyone, thanks for joining me today. Today I have the company of Sarah Luby. She plays Lauren in I Have to Kill My Neighbor. Welcome, thanks for joining me today.
Thank you so much for having me.
The character Lauren goes through what could easily be described as an extraordinary series of events. What was it like playing that character?
Oh, it was a wild ride. Interestingly enough, we started shooting the movie the first 3 days with the last 20 pages of the script. So I got a lot of the emotional bits we shot at that point, and then it was kind of like backtracking to some lighter moments and then switching back and forth. So it was a wild ride and trying to just, keep track of my emotional beats and energy of where I am in the scene. But to me, that's super fun. Yeah.
Now, you play the neighbor of Madeline, who is played by Lauren Cochran.
It's very confusing.
Yes. Flipping the names there. And that's, as the title says, the neighbor whom you have to kill. Your relationship evolves over the course of the film. What was it like filming that sort of changing dynamic?
I'm trying to remember. Yeah, so the first scene I shot with Lauren, aka Madeline, was the end of the movie. Mm-hmm. So that was kind of interesting, jumping straight into that. Luckily, Lauren and I knew each other a bit before shooting this film, so it makes it easier. But typically it is hard to shoot such a connected scene like that when you're on like day 2 or day 3. But my experience working with Lauren is we just like had this natural instant chemistry, and I think we made each other feel really safe, which to me, like in a relationship, on set, with friendships, safety physically and emotionally is the most important thing to me. So I think we felt taken care of by each other, especially with a topic like this.
Yeah, and now speaking of the topic, it's a mystery, murdery kind of story, but it sort of feels like it sort of sways at times into, if not comedy, comedic beats. How did you balance that when you're doing your portrayal?
I think I just don't look at it as comedy or drama or thriller. I look at it as, what does Lauren, my character, want, and how is she going about it to get that? So there's moments where I'm screaming and crying, but there's also moments where I'm like, I'm trying not to give it away, but like looking at murder objects, because I've never killed anybody before. So Lauren doesn't think she's being funny, but she's inherently funny because she's like, what the bleep is going on? Yeah. To me, I think I kind of approached it with a very dark comedy tone. Dead to Me with Christina Applegate and Linda Cardinelli really helped me. But our director also gave us references of like Fargo and Burn After Reading and Gone Girl and Thelma and Louise. So there was one point I was like, whoa. But I think we figured it out. But it's definitely one of those scripts that doesn't fully follow a thriller.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now, the film largely rests on your shoulders with Madeline, the neighbor. You two take up most of the scenes. What's it like having to be in so much of a production, basically being the focal point of the entire story?
I mean, it's an honor. I'm just really grateful I was selected to do that. At the same time, there's definitely pressure. You're like, okay, we're setting the tone. If this doesn't work, it's on our shoulders. Um, so I think it's just, when you shoot films like this, we had 13 days. So things are going really, really fast, but also trying to take those moments to breathe and go, wait, I don't actually understand why it's scripted that I'm blending this certain substance at this moment. Um, and yeah, sometimes you still have to shoot that, but sometimes you can really advocate for your character because I think you and the director know it better than anybody else. Um, but yeah, we do carry a large weight of the film. So I haven't seen the film yet. So of course I'm a little nervous about that, but yeah.
Now, is there any moment, without giving away or spoiling anything for the folks watching this, is there any moment that during filming that you really had a lot of fun doing, like just really enjoyed being in that moment?
I mean, there's a moment that I'm just, how do I say it? Um, yep, I'm trying to figure out how to say this without giving it away. It felt like quite a physical scene.
Hmm.
Um, it was a scene that I got to play in a lot. There were two scenes like that, and um, there were two scenes where like the actor and the characters were allowed to explore each other. They were longer scenes. So I think that was the most fun for me. If I could actually explain what the scene was, I could tell you a lot better. But I did come out of it with bruises, not inflicted by anybody. Nobody forced me to do that. I do come from a theater background, so I go like all out when I do things, and I just bruise really easily. So then for the next, like, because it was the end of the movie that we shot that the bruises are from, so every day I'd be like, we got to cover the bruises. There's a bruise right here that I caused.
Now, outside of your acting career, you also do advocate work for those with invisible disabilities. What started you on that journey?
Well, I've been type 1 diabetic since the age of 11, also with like quite a few other invisible disabilities and chronic illnesses. So at the start of COVID, the pandemic, I think I had a lot of time to reflect. And
Mhm.
I was doing this mentorship with this amazing man named David Connolly. He's a double amputee, the first, I believe, to ever perform on Broadway. And we decided that we wanted to do a project surrounding that. So I co-wrote a song called Invisible, and I wanted to make a music video about that and really bring representation to the things that we can't see. Because growing up, I always feared if I shared these things that I wouldn't be selected for roles, that I would be an inconvenience and a burden. And, that does come from conversations you overhear other people saying, and I don't think they have bad intentions, but they don't understand fully until you're living with it. So I very much advocate for that, for speaking about it for kids who are coming up and also like in our funding, specifically in Canada, like having a section for accessibility and for understanding that we need consultants on this matter and we need specific funds for accessibility. Even like the spaces that we shoot in, sometimes often you're like lugging up a ton of stairs because you're in a warehouse. That's the most affordable place to shoot. You can kind of do anything there. And there's often not an elevator. That's often for a physical disability, but it could still, somebody with an invisible disability could struggle with that too. Um, so it just needs to be spoken about more. And I really, enjoy is not the right word, but I'm passionate about speaking about this.
I mean, myself, I'm diabetic and I'm also epileptic. So I've
Oh my
been
gosh. Okay.
living with an invisible disability since I was 10. That's when I first started
Wow.
having seizures. And yeah, I always found it like difficult to just broach that subject. For me, I didn't want to take space because I feel in some ways I felt privileged in
Yeah.
that it's something that people won't notice. How did you find that voice? What in you and what sort of helped you find that voice to speak out about this?
Well, first of all, thank you for sharing that with me. Um, I think I found the voice because it was COVID and I didn't have all the voices around me. I didn't have I wasn't hearing what everybody else was thinking. I was like able to actually sit down and go, wow, this has been holding me back. And I'm sure it's holding a bunch of other people back because they can't speak their truth or be fully authentic to themselves. Um, but I remember it felt like I was coming out the day I posted it on social media that I have invisible disabilities. There was a moment where I wanted to be like, delete, delete, delete. I can never come back from this. I think it's scary, but I think it was the best thing that I could have ever done. And I am proud that I can be a voice for people with invisible disabilities. But I think that's where the voice came from, for the people who don't have the opportunity to have a voice.
And if you wanted to direct people to some resources or places where they could find out more about your work or invisible disabilities, what would you recommend?
Yeah, there is the Invisible Disability Association, I believe, and it lists everything that's classified as an invisible disability, which is amazing. I think so many people have invisible disabilities and they don't know it. They just think this is everyday life and I have to suffer in silence. I have information about my work on my website, which I think is Sarah V. Luby at something. I'm sorry, I don't actually know what it is.
I'll get a link and I'll attach.
Okay, great. Or my Instagram, that's Sarah_Luby14. But yeah, I try and do as much as I can with the advocacy. And honestly, my great, like, deepest passion is making art about invisible disabilities, about mental health. Like, it doesn't even mean that's what the film is about, but often the character has something. My most recent film is a psychological horror film set in the late 1800s about when women couldn't be composers. So they ghost wrote for their husbands and brothers. And she went through this huge mental health journey. It's inspired by like Fanny and Felix Mendelssohn and a bunch of other situations. So that's an example of I am hoping to do a screening at some point and have it like some of like the donations go to a domestic abuse shelter. That's what I'm really passionate about.
Wonderful. That sounds like an amazing project. I look forward to being able to see it.
Thank you. The trailer's on my website and Instagram if you want to watch.
I will. Thanks. Now, one final question.
Yes.
And I like to ask this of everybody. So, if there was one dream project that you could be a part of, pie in the sky, anything that you wanted, what would that be?
What would it be? What a great question. And probably something I think about every day. And now that I'm on the spot, I'm like, oh my God. My dream is to be in and create movie musicals. But to do them like so well that my passion is combining music with dance with cinema. I think a beautiful example of that is Tick Tick Boom with Andrew Garfield. So that is a great dream. But I would also just love to do like a dramatic comedy with the likes of like Jason Bateman and Florence Pugh and Kate Winslet. I don't think any of these people have honestly been in a film together, but those are some of Emma Stone, the people who again are brilliant comedians, but also ride that line of drama, and like bring truth and honesty to the performances.
I find that the musical is a genre that has been sadly neglected in a lot of ways in recent years. Like the last new musical that I felt really captured the old school vibe was Down with Love. Have you seen that?
Seen that? What is that?
So it's Ewan McGregor, and it's been a long time, but it's sort of like a recreation of that sort of like 1960s screwball comedy. He's playing like a journalist bachelor kind of guy, man about town.
Yeah.
and he's like very love's a facade, and it's just like it's just a good old fashioned like 1960s, very that has that sort of mod 60s aesthetic. It's a period piece, so
We love a period piece here.
yeah, you can't go wrong with it. You know, that mid-century modern aesthetic. It just really brings it home, kind of thing. So.
Okay, it's called Down with Love with
Yes.
Stephen McGregor. Yeah. Okay, I'll have to check that out.
Well, hopefully you'll enjoy.
I'm sure I will.
Right. Well, thanks very much for chatting with me today, and everybody, please check out I Have to Kill My Neighbor. You will not be disappointed.
Maybe scared.
Yeah.
But okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.